Welcome to Cooking with Craig. Today we're going to be making a apple and cherry puff scroll. That's right, an apple and cherry puff scroll. Now, to make an apple and cherry puff scroll, what you need is a muffin tin, some puff pastry. Now, best is to buy it store-bought. Frozen puff pastry is easier than making it yourself. Some glacé cherries. Now I have some that I've got here. Some brown sugar, some sultanas, and of course, apples. Apples are the main part for our apple and cherry puff scroll. So we need to slice these up. So I'm going to use a couple of these to slice up. And put them on a pot to stew them down just a little bit, because we need to make them a little bit soft when we're going to be using them in our puff pastry. So, alright, so what we need to do here first is we need to core our apples with our apple corer. I'm thinking I'm just going to do just 2 of these apples today. And we need to slice these into really thin wedges, because these will be going inside our puff pastry when we roll them up. As you can see, I'm doing them into wedges, like so that when I do put them into the pot, they'll cook quite quickly, and I won't have any problems with them being uncooked when it gets to the time of actually eating these with the puff pastry. Because when it goes in the oven, it's going to take approximately 20 minutes for them to completely puff up and be ready to consume. So that's all our apples, all in the bottom of the pot, all ready to go. Alright, so while the apples are just finished off cooking on the background, we're going to slice up our cherries and get them ready in a bowl that we're going to whack with our apples when they're completely done. So let's get these out. No, I don't need the large knife just yet. But we do need to slice these into halves. They're a little bit big to be whole when we're putting them in with our apple mix. So slice these all in halves. Only bad part about these is they're really, really sticky. Most of the time people use these. The reason why I've got these is because I made White Christmas last year. So I had green and red cherries. Alright, let's bring over our apples. Alright, so our apples are done. See them, they're all got soft steam coming off them, so let's just mix these together. Now we're going to add in some sultanas as well into this mix. Just a little bit, not too much, because we don't want to overpower the cherries and the apples, because it is an apple cherry puff scroll that we're making today, not a apple and sultana puff scroll. Add some cinnamon to the mix, which is always nice with apples. Gives it that lovely Christmassy smell. Okay, so they're all covered over, as you can see. Still quite hot. Now, I do also have some brown sugar that we'll be whacking in with all of these very soon. Now, these are almost done. Now, we need to cut these into strips, because when we do fold them over, we want them to puff up. So, need to cut these into thirds. All right. As you can see, this one's ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of brown sugar down one side of each of these, put the apples and or the apple cherry mix in there, fold it over. So where's my brown sugar? Here it is. This will help caramelize and melt down in with all of our apples and cherries. All right, let's get some of this mixed together. We'll do one of these at a time because I don't want to You really can't do two at a time. You need to do one at a time. Lay it out like so, with the apple sticking out. Get some of the cherries and other bits and pieces as well, because we need to dot those through. Alright. Now, this one here, ready to go. So we fold it over onto itself. Like that, with the little apples all sticking out. And roll it in on itself. Like so. That one is ready to go. As you can see, it's just been rolled up, all ready to go. Put that in the muffin tin. So let's continue with this, laying it out. Put that over. Alright, so we've got our scrolls all ready to go. Now we just need to whack them in the oven. Alright, so we've preheated our oven to a 220 degrees Celsius, fan forced. So let's whack these guys in and come back in about 15 to 20 minutes. So, time to pull them out of the oven. So that's the apple and cherry scroll. They've been in there for about 25 minutes. All right. Let's see if I can get one of these out without burning my fingers. There we go. Homemade apple and cherry scrolls. They're still really hot, so I've got to let them cool down for a little bit. So just remember, if you've seen anything you like in these videos, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget, if you have any comments, questions, or things I can be doing better in these videos, leave it in the comments field below on YouTube. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button and get notified when I do these. Cooking with Craig segments, my daily vlogs, Urban Explorer, What's in the Box, you name it, I film it, it ends up on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button. And until next time, see you in the next video.